Cray Wanderers Football Club was formed in 1860 and is the oldest football club in London. In fact, Cray are the second oldest football team in the world. Only Sheffield FC, which started life 3 years earlier in 1857, claims an earlier foundation date.
It started as a group of players, workers in the railway line, building the Chatham to London Railway, and they just started kicking a ball about, and that's how it came about to be called Cray, because they were working in Cray at the time, and it became Cray. I don't quite know. Nobody seems to know why it was ever called Wanderers, because they weren't wandering much in those days, but we wandered over the years recently, anyway.
In these early days, Cray played on a recreation ground in Star Lane and have wandered from ground to ground ever since. Over the club's long history, they have never owned a ground of their own and been forced to move from one temporary home to another. But now there is optimism that Cray will finally have a home of their own, back in the Cray area by 2020. A move which will safeguard the club's future forever. Cray Wanderers predate both the foundation of the Football Association in 1863 and the formation of the FA Cup in 1872. Most football fans will cite Fulham or Leyton Orient as London's oldest club, but Cray's long history is the oldest of any football team playing in the capital. Early matches were played against army and village sides, before Cray started playing competitively in 1889, winning their first title in the 1901-02 season. The Wands have had many homes over the years. After leaving Grassmead, the club moved to Oxford Road in Sidcup. The ground was brought up to the required standard by volunteers who built dressing rooms, and a stand was erected with seats donated from Charlton. When the landowners refused permission to erect floodlights in order to bring the ground up to the standard required by the league, Cray found themselves homeless once again. The club were given a lifeline by neighbours Bromley FC, who offered Cray the opportunity to ground share at Hayes Lane for 2 seasons. Cray have now been playing their home matches there for 19 years. However, the current ground sharing agreement will not be extended beyond 2020, and if Cray cannot move to a new home by then, there is a genuine danger that London's oldest football club may have to fold. Whilst everything was going well on the pitch, with Cray achieving promotion to the Ryman Premier Division, the highest level the club have played at during their long history, work was going on behind the scenes to secure a return to the Cray area by building a new ground at Sandy Lane. Despite receiving nearly 1,000 letters of support from local residents, the proposal for the new stadium was rejected. The search for a new home continues, and Cray have found the ideal site at Flamingo Park. In 2016, accompanied by over 800 letters of support, the Bromley Council Full Development Control Committee passed a resolution in favour of granting planning permission for the site. However, Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London, overruled this decision. Recently, the Mayor has said that he wants London to become the sporting capital of the world and has granted planning permission for Chelsea's new 60,000-seat stadium and has also backed AFC Wimbledon's new stadium in their original home at Plough Lane, a scheme he actually opposed when MP of Tooting. Cray Wanderers met with the GLA and Bromley Council Planning Department to discuss their revised Greenbelt friendly scheme. They feel it addresses all of the Mayor's concerns and look forward to his support for the new proposal. The revised scheme includes improved transport links, a reduction in the height of the stadium which will enable greater exposure for greenbelt areas on the site, and plans for more football pitches for Cray youth teams and community schemes.
So at the moment we're running in about 15 to 25 schools and nurseries. So if we're able to have the resource here, you know, there's in the range of 200 schools in the area, and you know, there's a lot of children that we're missing with our service. So having that base here will allow us to open our services to a lot more young people, and a lot more people will be able to interact and benefit from the services that we have.
It's not just the football team that is going to be based here. It's going to be the academy, sort of giving people education. Then the community scheme is going to be running a lot of activities here. And I think it's not just a football pitch that we're doing here. It is such a bigger picture that people need to understand. And we're going to be targeting people from deprived backgrounds and all different associations. And I think for them, the work they're putting in, no one understands that. Sometimes they see it's just chairmen of a football club trying to build another stadium, but there's so much more behind it that we're trying to do.
Since the Mayor's refusal, Cray Wanderers have received many letters of support from local community groups and supporters of grassroots football. Now the club have set a target of receiving 1,860 letters of support to accompany the new revised planning application. Every single letter will help to ensure that the city's oldest football club finally has a home of its own.